Okay, folks, today I'm feeling a little bit curious and a little ambitious. We're going to try out some layering techniques that I just learned on construction paper of all things. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm quite sure we're going to come out with something great on the end. So let's see how this comes out. Like I said, I found a pile of construction paper in packs. I got it because I was an art teacher. After COVID, we had to clean out our classrooms, and they were just going to throw everything away. And I was like, oh no, I just couldn't bear it because it was new. And I just took piles of it back into my studio, and it has been sitting there ever since. So I never used this, and I got inspired because I saw a YouTube video with an artist who was using cheap paper making these great abstract paintings, and I figured that I could try this as well. So what we're going to use today is this roller to roll on some house paint to do a base layer, because we're going to do this in layers, right? And I'm curious to see if this paper is just going to buckle up on me. I just want to do like an initial coat. Just roll it on here. What we're going to do is we're going to layer a bunch of acrylic paints on top, and then we're going to scratch away the surface to see what's underneath, right? So the way we're going to do that is, of course, we're going to apply the paint with brushes, with knives, and also we're going to use rubbing alcohol to loosen up the paint on the surface to see what's underneath. Of course, we're going to use just some acrylic paints, which again, I got for free, a bunch of these, and I've had them for like years, and I'm always like, oh man, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So supplies tend to just pile up in my studio, and I have to find creative ways to use them. So tonight is a great night to get creative, and I figured, why not, right? So we're going to let this dry for a little bit. We're going to come back, and then we're going to do some creative painting, applying the paint creatively with knives and the brushes, and we'll peel away those surfaces to see what's underneath. Let's take a break and be back in a few. Okay, so we're back. This is fairly dry. We do have a little bit of curling on the edges. That's because the paper is very thin. So all I did was turned it over and just kind of spread it out a little bit. So it's still a little bit wet, but I can't wait anymore. We're just going to get started, right? So let's start with some light colors. And basically all we're going to do is plop some colors down and spread them out. Let's use this knife here. Okay, so we'll stop here. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to put another layer on top, and we're going to keep going. Let's let this dry, and we'll come back. All right, we are back, and I did find my hair dryer. Had to dig high and low for it, but that speeded up the drying process. So we're going to lay in some more colors. And I'm basically going to brush it on top of what we already have. And so far, it's looking very good. Put some of this color over here. So again, we're just layering color on top of color. And we'll let some of it peep through. I believe that the paper is starting to hold because we have thick layers of paint on top. And we'll keep this process up. All right, folks, so I think I am done painting. I'm not sure. Who knows, right? Basically, I'm going to take this rubbing alcohol, which is 70% isopropyl alcohol. I put it in a spray bottle, and I already tested out a few areas. The paint is lifting up and getting this nice little grunge look, but I'm going to try it over here, see what it looks like, see how it reacts to the paint. And supposedly, the layers underneath, as you scrape away the top, will show through, which is beginning to happen. I'm just kind of scraping away some layers. The paint is being removed little by little. Not as much as I thought, but maybe I'm being a little bit too delicate. I don't know. All right, so I'm starting to see some nice, like, oh, right here, I'm starting to see some nice little markings. Because remember, there was some black underneath here. Look at that. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go with my instincts and work on this small little area here. Let's see how the... Oh, that is cool. Okay, so what's happening is the thick green paint that I put over this black is showing up underneath as I scrape it away. And I'm getting a nice little look here. So you just got to put a little bit of pressure on your knife or whatever it is that you're using and just kind of scrape away. So I guess the rule of thumb is to have a darker color underneath your top layer and you'll get greater contrast. And this paint is kind of thick, so maybe I need a wee bit more rubbing alcohol to lift it up. Yeah, and it's starting to work. I probably let this paint dry a little bit too long. But in some areas, it looks like where I had the greater contrast, it's working better, like here. You know? So I'm getting this nice scratchy look, and it's looking pretty cool. Let's see what happens over here. Probably let the paint dry too long over on this side, but it is coming up. It was like a little bubble over here. Tore the paper a little bit underneath here. Okay, so you do have to be careful because if you're using a thin paper, you might tear it like I did here. So just be a little bit careful. But all in all, it looks like this construction paper is holding up, and that is due to the many layer of paints that I have on here. And the other rule of thumb is use high contrast colors. So if you have a black, put a lighter color underneath, and your markings are going to show much better. Let's see what happens in this area over here. Okay, not bad. A little bit of grungy look there. Not much of it is scraping away. Maybe it's because there is some that's scraping away, but I'm not seeing what's underneath that much. And it's probably because I allowed the paint to dry. So I guess the rule of thumb, use high contrast colors when overlapping and don't let the paint dry so fast. You know? I'll go back over some of these areas to freshen it up. Okay, so here's the deal. I am not 100% sure that I met my objective in the look of the piece, but I am loving it because when I turned it the other way, I started seeing something different. And that's how it happens sometimes. I'm going to take this piece in a whole new direction. We're going to do some creative markings when we come back. I just want to look at it a little bit more. I just feel that the rubbing alcohol didn't do what I wanted it to do 100% on this piece. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just didn't work the way that I thought it would work here, but I'm loving it. What I've done and what I've found out using it, I love it. So we're going to come back a little bit later. I'm going to do some creative markings, show you how I embellish and finish a piece. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll begin again soon. Okay, folks, we are back and I want to put some finishing touches on this piece, but like I said before, when I turned it this way, I saw the piece in a totally different light. I didn't like it so much this way, but when I turned it this way, I said, now I can work with this, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to take some black oil pastels, and I I use these to mark up my pieces at the end. So I'm just going to take these oil pastels and do some light markings on the piece. And usually I'll just do some lines in selective areas, and it's going to give it a whole new look. The idea here is just to be free and not overthink it. And you want to add some dimensions, right? So I like this tan color in here. So I'm going to vary it. Bring it out here. Some light lines. Just in some areas here. All right. Feel like I can do something with this black. Maybe extend it out here. Okay, folks, we are done. We're at the end of the road with this piece. Even though I didn't get the results that I wanted, I really had fun doing this, and I really had fun experimenting. And I think that is the whole point. You have to experiment. So you're not always going to get the results that you desire or you want, or you see somebody else do. But the experience of experimenting will bring you into a whole new realm and a whole new world. So, and I believe I achieved that tonight, and I had fun. So here is the piece. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe. I love you all. Experiment, experiment, experiment. And that is what's going to cause your growth and keep you going. So I love you all. Yahweh bless, and I will talk to you again soon.